In this video, I'm going to talk about the democratization of education and the online course revolution. So if you're watching this video, you are blessed to be alive on the planet in the best time that has ever existed. We are experiencing the longest lifespan and the lowest rate of violence on this earth ever. In developed countries like the United States, people who live in poverty today have more comforts and conveniences than wealthy people did 100 years ago. And if you're an entrepreneur or anyone who wants to get paid to do what you love, there has never been more opportunity than there is right now to do that. But in this video, we want to talk about an industry that represents one of the biggest opportunities of our lifetimes: online courses. If you are watching this video, you are also positioned to take advantage of the timing advantage that you will have if you create online courses now. So there are 3 massive shifts coming in the next 4 to 10 years that will explode the online course industry, making now the best time to be a course creator. So let's take a look at these looming changes and what it means for the future of education and the opportunity that you have today to be part of it all. So first, the first massive shift is the rising billions. So it's predicted that by 2024, every person on Earth will be online. There are about 4 billion people online right now, so that's 4 billion new minds connecting to the internet. Peter Diamandis, founder of the X Prize, refers to them as the rising billions. For the most part, these new internet surfers will be connecting through a wireless internet through smartphones and tablets. But this won't be at the internet speed that we currently have on our devices. You see, when wireless technology advanced from 3G, the G stands for gigabytes, by the way, to 4G, that's when smartphones became available and video streaming became possible on our devices. So in 2020, 5G is being deployed at a massive scale, and 5G is 100 times faster than 4G. And 10 times faster even than the broadband cable type internet that we plug into our computers at home. So this is really good news for the online course industry for so many reasons. First, the experience of viewing online courses is going to increase greatly. No more lagging or freezing or slow loading. But even more importantly, and this is the point here, those 4 billion people who will be gaining access to the World Wide Web of information for the very first time, what will they be looking for? Now, of course, they're probably going to go online and they're going to buy stuff, but even more than that, they're going to be eager to access knowledge. In many cases, it will be the first time that they have access to information beyond their own small towns or villages. 4 billion new people will be coming online and they will be seeking to learn. And then there's massive shift number 2, exponential growth and economic change. So a child in a small village in Africa today has more computing power in their smartphone than US President Bill Clinton had from the White House. The reason for this is the exponential growth of technology. Moore's law is a principle that states the observable fact that processing speed of computing doubles roughly every 2 years, and it has been doing so consistently since about 1970. So when we add to this the rapid growth in fields like artificial intelligence, automation, robotics, 3D printing, and many other technologies that change the way that the world works, it is not surprising that experts are predicting a rapid period of economic and social change, exponentially more rapid than what we've experienced in the last 100 years. And as a result, depending on the report that you read, it's predicted that between 1/3 and 1/2 of jobs that exist today are going to disappear by 2030. Now, we don't tell you this to scare you. We tell you this because all of this represents a huge opportunity. And this does not mean that up to half of the population is just going to lose their jobs and that's it, no more jobs. It means that up to half the population will need to change their jobs. You see, Every single time that industries have died, new ones have been born. For instance, ice used to be the biggest industry in the United States. Yes, ice. And automobiles replaced horse-drawn carriages in only a few short years when Ford released the Model T. We've been here before. And while robots and AI might replace human labor in some industries, this period of rapid growth and expansion is creating new industries and new jobs. Entire new industries are being born as we speak, and more yet to come. If you have young children or grandchildren right now, chances are the careers that they will have as adults are in jobs that haven't even been thought of yet. Plus, the entire idea of work is going to change. Economists and those type of people that spend their lives studying these things expect that the number of hours that a full-time worker works per week is going to decrease, giving us more time to spend with family, travel, embrace our passions, start a side gig, or contemplate the meaning of life. Entrepreneurship is going to become much more common, and in fact, it's predicted that our children's generation will be a lot more likely to have 5 different side gigs than they are to have one full-time job. And this is not surprising when we think that our grandparents' generation often held only one job for their entire lives. And look how much has already changed. And then there's massive shift number 3, the democratization of education. Your smartphone contains within it a TV, a computer, a digital camera, a radio, a GPS, video games, and access to all of the information contained in all of the libraries around the world. Imagine if you had to carry all of these things around in your pocket. We have at our fingertips what used to cost thousands or tens of thousands or even millions of dollars. And many people have access to these things for the very first time. You see, when something becomes digitized, it becomes dematerialized, meaning you no longer need the physical component. This means that the cost of delivering this information or service becomes almost nothing because there's no longer a cost to produce the physical item. And then, once it's digitized, it's no longer able to be controlled or manipulated by governments, large companies, or those in power. It becomes available to everyone. It becomes democratized. Democratizing an industry means putting the means of production and consumption into the hands of the people. No more middleman who tends to discriminate about who has access and who also collects a fee in order to access this thing. So many industries have been democratized. So a really popular and famous example, of course, is Airbnb, which has democratized hotels, and Uber, which has democratized the taxi or transportation market. So what does this mean? It means that today individuals can turn their home or their car into a means to make money by offering it to someone who previously only could rent a room or catch a ride through a hotel or a taxi. And this brings us to what we're talking about here. Online courses are democratizing education. Knowledge was democratized for the first time when the printing press was invented, making books widely available. Now, the internet democratized information even further, making the entire world's worth of information available by anyone with a device and a connection to the internet. And now, another revolution of access to knowledge is upon us, and you can be part of it. Yes, people can find the information that they need for free on Google and YouTube. That's true. But this giant repository of information that's out there has never been able to compete with specialized, packaged academic knowledge taught through schools, universities, or other formal ways of educating people. However, with online courses, today, anyone in the world who has knowledge, experience, or expertise can create a video-based course and make it available to anyone in the world that wants to learn what they have to teach. University professors are not the only ones capable of teaching advanced knowledge in their industry. In fact, many people who actually work in an industry, hands-on, in the front lines, and keeping up with the most recent advances or have many, many years of experience, also actually probably have something more relevant to offer than a college professor who might have learned what they learned 20 years ago and teaches from a book. Plus, many university professors have recognized this new opportunity and have started creating their own online courses. Not to mention the student loan crisis that's going on in the United States and elsewhere because of the excessive cost of higher education. And all of this holds so many people back from being able to access education. And then those who do access it end up spending years of their lives learning what is often outdated information without real-world application, and they walk away saddled with debt. Now, online courses are available at a fraction of the cost, and students get to choose who they want to learn from. The universities no longer hold a monopoly on learning. But academic education is only one part of the equation. In fact, most online courses are non-academic topics. Online courses are how people who work in technology keep up with the exponentially changing digital world because they can go on and learn from someone really fast. People in any career can do a quick search online and find courses taught by experts in their field, teaching them the best practices and often sharing decades of experience that will save them years of trial and error, not to mention potentially thousands of dollars too. Whether you want to build a robot or bake a cake, change careers or start a business, learn a language or improve your relationships, write a book or learn how to play the guitar, there is an online course out there taught by someone who has been there, done that, made the course. And this is where these three massive shifts converge. Exponential growth of technology has gotten us to the point where streaming online video content is good enough that there are already hundreds of millions of students learning from non-university instructors online. This technology will continue to improve, making online courses even more accessible. Even today, there is opportunity for anyone to teach anything, and I mean anything that they know and love online, and there will be people out there right now already looking for courses on the topics that you could be teaching. For instance, we have reached over 100,000 students in only 3 years, so the potential is definitely already there. It is already an amazing industry to be in. And then add to it that 4 billion new people are going to be coming online in the next several years, many of which will be seeking education. And the fact that education through online courses can be made available at a cost low enough that students in these developing countries can afford them. And then add to that the economic change that is going to lead to up to half the population needing to learn and grow in order to shift their careers. And what are they going to look for? Education. And the fact that they won't need to get this education through a college that takes years to complete and costs thousands of dollars. Instead, they're going to be able to learn directly from those who know how to do what they need and want to do. Studies already report that the size of the online education market is in the hundreds of billions. And the truth is, the industry is still in its infancy. All of these massive shifts that are already underway converge to show us that clearly online education is the future. And so we invite you to join us to democratize education and to join the online course revolution.